Let us learn one more question in this chapter, Periplanet American Anatomy and Physiology, the circulatory system of a cockroach. What are the various parts of circulatory system of a cockroach? Basically, before going to learn the parts, let us learn what is the circulatory system of a cockroach. Here it helps in the process of transportation of digested food. At the same time, it helps in the process of transportation of hormones, etc. Periplaneta has an open type of circulatory system, which means poorly developed blood vessels are present in the circulatory system of a cockroach. So here, hence, due to poorly developing blood vessels, the blood or hemolymph directly flows within the body cavity or hemocoel. Within the body cavity, that is called hemocoel. Now here blood vessels are poorly developed and visceral organs or internal organs located in the hemocoel or body cavity. As you know that hemocoel is a body cavity which is directly bathed in the a fluid called hemolymph. Now hemolymph is a important circulatory fluid in the circulatory system of Periplaneta americana. It is associated with the three main parts. What are the three main parts of circulatory system of a cockroach? Includes hemocoel, heart, blood vessels. What are they? I am writing here: hemocoel, heart and blood vessels are considered as important structures of the circulatory system. Let us talk about a hemocoel or body cavity of the cockroach. Hemocoel of cockroach divided into three major sinuses, namely two muscular horizontal membranes called dorsal diaphragm and another one is and if you take a dorsal diaphragm, both of dorsal diaphragm 1 and 2 have a connecting valvular pores. Valves are present here. These valvular pores contain valves. What they contain? Valves. And one more thing is triangular muscles are present around the heart chambers. These are called as basically alary muscles. So every segment has one pair of these muscles. Now here if you carefully see the blood circulation process along with the hemocoel of cockroach, if you carefully see here, you can see dorsal diaphragm. This is called as a dorsal diaphragm. So here you can see this is a dorsal diaphragm, and you can see here here the heart or the heart chambers, how this heart generally looks like. Here you can see a dot like structure. Now apart from this, the three major sinuses of hemocoel are includes, as I said earlier, if you take the sinuses of hemocoel, the body cavity, which has three major regions, these are called sinuses. So the first one is pericardial sinus, spelling for pericardial sinus, and the second one is perivisceral sinus, and the second one is perivisceral sinus, and perivisceral sinus, that is nothing but a middle one. Last one is perineural sinus. What is the last one? Perineural sinus. Pericardial sinus or hemocoel, which is there on the dorsal side of the body cavity. Perivisceral sinus, which is there at the middle, at the mid gut of the body cavity. Perineural sinus, which is out there on the ventral side of the or ventral surface of the body cavity. So these three sinuses helps in the transportation of various materials across the body. The middle sinus is very large compared with the dorsal one and the ventral sinuses. So the middle sinus is very large compared with the remaining two sinuses. Now here, if you take the heart Heart is generally divided into 13 chambers. So the cockroach heart contains 13 chambers. So 13 chambered heart is present here. Heart lies in the pericardial hemocoel. Heart exactly located in a specific sinus called a pericardial sinus. Very important bit for the examination point of view. It is long and contractile. It is a tube-like structure. At the same time, it is long and contractile and tube-like structure found at the mid-dorsal line of the body. Found at the mid-dorsal line of the body. Basically, it consisted of 3 chambers. Each chamber, if you carefully see, it is supported by triangular alary muscles. Here, apart from these 13 chambers, here among these 13 chambers, 3 chambers are present at the thorax region. Remaining 10 chambers are located at the abdominal region. Total 13 chambers are present. Distribution of these 13 chambers. Here, each chamber, if you carefully see, its posterior end is closed. Its posterior end is closed, but the anterior end is opened. Anterior end is open and continued. Anterior end is continued as a anterior aorta. It is continued as anterior aorta. Now in the diagram you can carefully see anterior aorta. This is an anterior aorta and this is a posterior one. Posterior one is basically closed and anterior one is basically opened. Each chamber is supported by triangular muscles called alary muscles. In the diagram you can clearly see how alary muscles looks like. And you can see the regular arrangement of 13 chambers, 3 in the thorax and 10 are in abdominal region. Circulatory fluid. What is circulatory fluid in the cockroach? It is colorless and called hemolymph. What is that called? Hemolymph. It is a colorless fluid. The hemolymph consisted of a fluid called plasma. A fluid is present in the hemolymph called plasma, and free blood cells are present called hemocytes. These hemocytes are basically phagocytic in function. They are phagocytes, phagocytic in function, which means they engulf the bacteria or virus whatever enter into the bloodstream. There is no specific respiratory pigment, that is respiratory pigment present in the there is no respiratory pigment present in the fluid, circulatory fluid of a cockroach called hemolymph. Hence, it doesn't play an important role in the transportation process, but it absorbs digested food. It absorbs digested food. It brings nitrogenous waste, and at the same time, it carries defensive phagocytic blood cells from one place to another place where there is an infection. These blood cells will be carried to there. Apart from this, it transports and secretions of the ductless glands. What are called ductless glands here? Can you name ductless glands? Ductless glands are nothing but endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Endocrine glands basically produces hormones. So these are the functions of a circulatory fluid in a cockroach. Remaining part we will see in the next session, and please go through all these points which are